You're still watching News Desk on Joy News on Multi TV. Now, Employment and Labour Relations Minister Haruna Iddrisu says government had to put some measures in place for the smooth transfer of the 5% Tier 2 pension contribution of workers into their own private scheme. Hence, the delay in meeting several deadlines issued by the labour unions. On Monday, the 12 labour unions extended their threat to strike over the transfer of their pension funds for 24 hours to allow their leaders to take a final decision on the strike. But answering questions from labour unions at a meeting with the Trade Union Congress, Haruna Iddrisu said no one in the current government is interested in hiding pension numbers in any transitional process currently ongoing.
Subsequent to the court settlement, we needed to review the deed instrument, and it needed to go through a certain legal process. Beyond that was for us to appoint, in consultation with each other, with both government and you, nominating representations to the board, which saw subsequently the inauguration of the board. That took some time, so that should explain your April timetable. Now, what we need to resolve and is just to decide, per the law, where must the transfers go? Government is up to date with the transfers. The monies are with the NPRA. Don't forget that the temporary pension fund account itself was under the supervision of the NPRA. So the attitude of government has been for the transfers to go. Then on the schedule, the NPRA will do the transfers. If that is what you are objecting, let's say so. Mr. President, with your indulgence again, let me assure you that no one in this administration led by President Mahama would want to seek to hide pension numbers by way of declaration in any transitional process. So be assured that every detailed information from 2010 to yesterday, money accruing to the temporary pension fund account with the Bank of Ghana and with the NPRA, government will make full disclosure of it to you, and trust that one of the major anchors of President Mahama has been transparency, so he would not tamper with pension income security of any Ghanaian worker. So we've
You're still on News Desk on Joy News on Multi TV. Stay with us, we'll be back shortly. Yeah, welcome back to News Desk on Joy News on Multi TV. Now, state attorneys say they are still not calling up their strike until government meets their demands. The workers declared the industrial action almost a month ago over what they say is the failure of the Finance Ministry, the Justice and Attorney General's Department and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to implement some directives of the National Labour Commission. The state attorneys are asking for improved conditions of service, which includes the provision of vehicles, harmonized salaries, sustainable pension schemes, and logistical support. Let's get more on this. I'm joined in the studio now by the president of the State Attorneys Association, Francisca Titi Mensah. Good morning to you, madam. Thank you for joining us on News Desk.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So you've been on strike for almost 1 month. You declared the strike on the 20th of October. Have you heard anything from government at all on your strike?
Thank you very much. We've heard nothing from them since we started our strike on the 20th of October 2016.
But it seems your strike is not biting, because when you go to the courts, they are still hearing cases and giving judgments.
That is rather not the picture. It is really biting, because state attorneys are not appearing in court. We are about 155 state attorneys throughout Ghana, and no state attorneys appear in court. We take care of the prosecution of criminal cases, serious criminal cases, including murder, rape, defilement, robbery in the whole country. And if you come to our division, civil division, we defend the government, the republic, in civil matters. We help in advising government agencies such as Finance, Controller and Accountant General Department, and the like.
So if you say your strike is backing, are you able to tell us exactly what you've been able to achieve with it almost 1 month?
Yes, it means that we have about 7 departments of government that state attorneys work with. We have those on secondment, For instance, the Ministry of Finance, every policy that they go into, they have to be advised by state attorneys. We have a controller and accountant general department. We have a registrar general's department that deals with registrations of company, weddings and all that. We also have Council for Law Reporting. They deal with law reporting. We have legal aid that takes care of people who do not have money to engage lawyers. And as I said, the prosecution department of the Attorney General deal with serious cases, criminal cases. It means that all these cases are at a standstill. The Attorney General has written to the courts to adjourn all the cases about a month further. Yeah, so but nothing is working now.
So apart from the court, which you're saying that because of your strike, the cases have been adjourned, what about the other departments you say your strike has affected? Okay,
for instance, talk about Registrar General's department. As I said, it's an income generating department for the Attorney Generals, and they deal with registrations of our companies. They deal with other things like registration of marriages and other things that generates income for our department. This is as a standstill because they don't have lawyers to deal with them. And then, as I said, IOCO, we have lawyers being on attachment there. Lawyers are on attachment at the Lands Department. Even National Service Secretariat, we have state attorneys on attachment there.
IOCO has been operating for some time now, and at least we know that for a fact. Are you also saying that because of your strike, marriages are not being registered?
Yes, there are aspects that need a lawyer's input. And that lawyer's input is very, very critical in the decision to be taken by this department. And so has to wait. They may do other works, but when it comes to a lawyer's input, for them to take firm decisions on legal issues, they will have to wait.
Now, from the beginning of this interview, you told me that government, you haven't heard anything from government on your strike. Yes. It's almost a month now. Don't you think that government may not be responding because your issues may not be as dire as you have presented it to be?
Thank you very much. That is a very interesting question. We are talking about legal issue of enforcement of an award that has been given after a compulsory arbitration by Labour Commission. We went through a compulsory arbitration, and the law and the Labour Act states that such a decision is final and binding. Per Section 172 of the Labour Act, Labour Commission is mandated by law to enforce its own award in a court of law. And so we are saying that it is a very serious issue, and Labour Commission cannot do anything about it but to enforce it. So we're dealing with a very serious issue, and Labour Commission can be sent to court with a mandamus to compel them to act on their own.
Your lawyers, is it not interesting? How come you're not able to push through for this?
We have been able to push. That is why we are on strike. You know, as employees, our tool for fighting is going on legal strike. The employer might be strong, but the employee has that tool, and that is the first plan we have adopted. There's a second plan, and perhaps I have to give you a hint.
What is this second plan?
Yes, this second plan is to send the Labour Commission to court with under Article 33 of the Constitution, 1992 Constitution of Ghana, for the High Court to order Labour Commission to enforce its own award.
Is it because you think that the Labour Commission has failed in this?
Yes, Labour Commission has failed, as has failed Ghanaians, because the withdrawal of our services will affect many, and if they were up and coming in their duty, we wouldn't have been on strike. So they have failed. The award was given 28th September 2015, over 1 year now. So I think they have failed the whole Ghana.
But is it the Labour Commission's responsibility to enforce it? Because earlier when I was having a conversation with you off air, you said that the Ministry of Labour Relations was supposed to compel these three you mentioned, the Attorney General's Department, the Finance Ministry, as well as the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, to enforce whichever directives had been given by the NLC.
Exactly.
So why are you suing the NLC now, or threatening to sue the NLC?
Yes, there are two aspects. I've quoted different laws. The first law that I quoted was 172 of the Labour Act 2003 at 651. That one compels the Labour Commission to compel the three respondents, Attorney General, Fair Wages and Finance, to enforce its own award. The second authority that I cited is Article 33 of the Constitution of Ghana, which talks about the enforcement of the human rights of people in Ghana. And it is a human rights issue. Under Article 24 of the Constitution, we have an economic right under the Constitution to work and receive the right remuneration. And so, since we are working and we have not received the right remuneration, and we have also not received pension, we are saying that per Article 33, the High Court can enforce that human right that we have and compel Labour Commission to enforce that one.
You're talking about remuneration. It's been almost a month. Do you get the indication that this will be met at all?
Yes. If Labour Commission will still not act, we will take our plan B and maybe plan C. But for now, our board, the Legal Service Board, will be meeting to look at our condition of service, which is the first paragraph, paragraph on the award, that there should be harmonization of salaries and benefits of the state attorneys with those of the lower court bench. And this involves the Legal Service Board meeting under Section 9 of the Legal Service Act. They are supposed to meet and deliberate on our condition of service.
When is this meeting you talk about?
We were told it may be today, but it's unofficial. We do not know whether they will meet today, but we were told.
You also indicated in this interview that you may be forced to sue the the NLC.
Yes.
When do you intend to do that?
We are looking at what will happen, events that will unfold after today, and then we will advise ourselves.
Any final word from you, madam?
Yes, I would like to use this opportunity to speak to everyone who is hearing us that what is happening to state attorney is a human rights issue. We are working with our pension. This is because we were under the old pension, Cap 30, which has been repealed. And this law needs an LI, a legislative instrument, to migrate us onto the new